Name is Jonathan Gonzalez. I'm here with Public Works, specifically our sewer maintenance division. I'm here with a couple of my colleagues who I'll give an opportunity to say, hey, you'll see them. We have Tegan and we have Madi. We're all color coordinated today. So we're briefly going to give a presentation for you three. Thank you for joining and taking time out of your Thursday to hear us out. In this presentation, we're going to be talking about a few different things. First of which being our Consolidated Sewer Maintenance District Services. What is CSMD? What are the services that it entails? We're going to also talk about our proposed sewer rate increases, as well as a timeline and outreach. And then at the very end of the presentation, or during, you can always send questions during, we'll have an opportunity for questions and answers. Tegan, next slide, please. So the first thing, what is the Consolidated Sewer Maintenance District, also known as CSMD? Well, it encompasses over 500,000 plus parcels with 2 million people that are served within our service area. Now, these people live within 38 member cities and county unincorporated areas. We maintain about 4,600 or so miles of sanitary sewers. To put that into perspective, that's like flying from here to NYC and back. We have 87 pump stations and 4 wastewater treatment plants. Next slide, please. More about the Consolidated Sewer Maintenance District. We have some services with goals of protecting our public health, safeguarding our environment, maintaining system resilience. We promote sustainability as well as supporting economic growth. Next slide, please. So the main question, what does CSMD do? So we break our services up into 3 distinct categories. The first of which being preventative maintenance, the second being our 24-hour emergency response, and the last being our condition assessment and repairs/rehabilitation. Let's start with preventative maintenance. What is that? What it is it's responding to service requests. That could be a request for odor, a noisy manhole, insects, that also includes our manhole inspections, which we do twice a year. They're scheduled. That also includes the operation inspection and maintenance of our various pump stations. I mentioned on the previous slide, I believe we have 87 of them. And lastly, sewer saddle installations. So if you have an individual, let's say it's a new house, new home, a lateral is being constructed, you want to connect that home to our sewer network, you're going to do that via a saddle installation. Going to need a permit for that. The next being our 24-hour emergency response. What that is essentially responding to sewer spills. We typically respond within 2 hours. We respond to non-emergency complaints usually within a same business day or the next business day if this occurs over the weekend. The last category is our condition assessment and repairs/rehabilitation. What that is repairing significant structural defects and minimizing our system failures to reduce spills. In a nutshell, this is repairing pieces of our infrastructure that are in need of repair and rehabilitation. That could be a pump station that needs its pumps replaced. It could be a pump station that needs to be replaced in its entirety, or force mains, or any other piece of our sewer maintenance infrastructure that needs rehabilitation. Next slide, please. These are some production metrics for CSMD. These are taken from for last year. So we responded to 1,197 emergency calls. Over 216,852 manholes were inspected. 1,369 miles of pipeline were cleaned, and 76,365 feet of pipeline were televised, with 40 repairs completed. So this is just a slide to just showcase just a quick snippet of some of the work that we do. A lot of it is routine, some of it isn't routine. Some of these repairs are emergency repairs. We actually just had a force main that needed to be repaired via emergency services yesterday, and we responded, and it's been taken care of. So our work is very fluid and dynamic here. Next slide, please. So this is a map that showcases our various maintenance yards here throughout the county. So the county is very vast, and there are unincorporated areas that we serve. There's some incorporated areas we serve. So our goal is to make sure that we have maintenance crews and staff at the ready to respond to an emergency in any of these given areas. You can see here we have yards as high as the Antelope Valley in the North Yard, all the way down to like Lawndale that serves some of our southern communities here. Next slide, please. Just in case, we need a refresher on how the sewer system works. When you flush a toilet, you take a shower, you wash your dishes, you wash your clothes. That water, that wastewater, gray water, black water, it's going to make its way down your lateral through the sewer system, right? That sewer system is going to lead to a larger set of pipes, which lead to a wastewater treatment plant. So the pipes that sewer maintenance or the consolidated sewer maintenance district covers are those pipes that transition from your lateral, which is serving your home, to the wastewater treatment plant, right? So our job is to maintain those lines and make sure that they're in service and in operation. We're responsible for, we call them local pipelines. From a size standpoint, they're anywhere from 8 to 15 inches. Whereas when you get closer to the wastewater treatment plant, those lines can be as big as 144 inches. The wastewater treatment plant, their job mainly is to take the sludge and all of the contaminants, treat that and safely, depending on where this is, in more inland communities, you may not have the opportunity to release into the ocean. But in our case, we treat the sewage water and we release it at a safe distance from the coastline into the ocean. Next slide, please. So the reason we're here, this is our proposed sewer maintenance, our sewer increase, our CSMD rate increase. To give a little context as to how we got here, we've maintained the current rate of $50.50 all the way since 2014. At that time, the previous rate was $36.50, and it was increased to 50.50 at that time. We're proposing this 2025 rate increase to adjust for inflation, to sustain and improve our operations, as well as maintain infrastructure. We have a snippet here on Prop 218. That's pretty much going to explain why we're having this meeting in the first place. Under Prop 218, government agencies like ourselves are required to follow specific procedures for notifying customers when proposing new or increased service charges. The proposed rate change will be presented to our LA County Board of Supervisors at a public hearing at a later date. I believe that's next month, where they'll have an opportunity to vote for adoption. If a majority of our constituents file a written protest, there's instructions on how to do that on the pamphlets that you all should have received. But if that happens, if we have a majority of a written protest, then the rate will not go into effect. All right. So the goal here is to give the public an opportunity to speak, ask questions, be in favor, not in be in favor. Pretty much put it in your hands as to whether or not we have the ability to put this rate into play. Next slide, please. So, what do we spend money on? This graphic here shows what we do with your constituent dollars. A couple of slides ago, I broke down a few different categories of preventative maintenance, condition assessment, and 24-hour response. This graphic is showing how much money we allocate to each of those. The first of which being 60% going to our preventative maintenance. Another 30% is going to be going to our condition assessment. The remaining 10% is broken up into two different factions. The first of which being our 24-hour response. That's responding to spills, and the last being our management and administration. You can think of that as my time or my colleagues' time, our office, our staff time. So our goal here is really to put the majority of the monies or the finance that we receive from our constituency back into infrastructure that's directly serving the public, and for us to take the smallest chunk of the pie that we need to remain in operation. So we've successfully done that, and we plan to do that in the near future as well. Next slide, please. This slide just shows our current financial situation. It's a little complex. I'll break it down. So the top orange line, that represents our expenditures. That's how much money we're spending on a given year. This chart is ranging from fiscal year 23-24 to 29-30. And this chart is showcasing a scenario where we don't get a rate increase. So to show what happens with our fund if we keep things exactly how it is today. The blue line is showing our revenue. That's what we get from the constituents. That's the monies that are coming in, you're seeing on your tax bill. That's what we're receiving. The red dashed line is our fund balance. Think of that as our bank account, so to speak. So as you can see, our fund balance, our bank account is steadily getting less and less. And it appears in the fiscal year 25-26, we're going to transition into the negative. In the event that happens, we'll be in a position where we won't be able to serve you to the degree that we've currently been serving, and we would have to make some changes to allocate for that loss of funding. So this is something that we want to avoid, and part of the reason why we're here asking for your blessing to have this rate increase. Next slide, please. All right, the dollars and cents. So, just to give a little background before we get into the numbers, last year in 2024, we conducted a comprehensive rate study. This study was pretty much to look at our costs, our needs as it relates to our sewer services. It provided a detailed review of our costs and a rate structure we need to meet those costs to continue to operate in the reliable fashion that we've been doing so for all of these years. So the study resulted in a 5-year rate schedule that'll provide sufficient revenue to fund our operations and the maintenance of our system, right? So we're proposing a gradual increase from starting in this July 2025 to do a couple of things. First of which, we want to keep pace with rising inflation. We want to sustain and improve our operations and maintain aging infrastructure. It's been 11 years. It's been quite a long time since we've asked for a rate increase, and a lot of things have changed. Labor rates, parts, materials, a lot of things have gone up, and we've kept our rate the same for that duration of time. So let's get to the chart here. So where we're at right now, we're at $50.50. What that looks like, that's going to show as a line item on your tax bill that should say consolidated sewer. We're proposing 3 years of $14 increase. So what that would look like is for fiscal year 25-26, that's going to be $14 more than what we were. So that'll be about $64.50. The following year, 26-27, would be a similar $14 increase, which would bring things to 78.50. And in 27-28, we would have another $14 increase, which would bring things to 92.50. The following two fiscal years, 28-29 and 29-30, we're estimating a rate increase that would be in line with CPI, or Consumer Price Index. For the purposes of this graph, we've estimated that to be around 2%, but obviously a lot of environmental factors could potentially change that number. Next slide, please. So this slide is pretty much to show where our rates compare with other cities, or we'll call them agencies within LA County. So as you can see here, we're at the way bottom at $50.50. That breaks down to $421 a month, with the most expensive being our famed city of Los Angeles, with annual rates of $234 a year, which breaks down to about $19.50 a month. So the rate increase that we're asking for today is going to put us still on the lower end of the spectrum from a price standpoint. We would be more in line with the city of El Monte. So this slide is really just to show where we are in relation to everyone else. To be honest, we've been able to for decades now to provide the highest level of service at arguably the lowest cost. We want to continue to do that. Next slide, please. So this slide is pretty much to illustrate how we got here and where we're going as it relates to our Proposition 218 outreach timeline. Let's go back in time, take a quick step back in time. So earlier this year in January, I mentioned in a couple of slides ago that our rate study was finalized, in which we looked at a long-time financial plan for CSMD, and we developed the proposal that I'm speaking to you all about today. Earlier this year, last month in April, and before that in March, we initiated this Prop 218 outreach. What that looks like is scheduled presentations like this one. We have events that are scheduled, as well as open houses. These events, open houses, community meetings, webinars like this, these are opportunities for the public to ask questions, provide feedback, whether positive or negative, get information about the proposed increase, have an opportunity to be involved, because we need you, the public, to put this forth, put this to fruition. One thing I do want to highlight on this table here, or this graph here, we have a public hearing date that's scheduled for June 24th of next month. That's the date that the LA County Board of Supervisors has the opportunity to either adopt the motion to allow this rate increase to go into effect, or if enough individuals show opposition, they can go the other direction. We want to make sure this process for the constituency is abundantly transparent. We're going to continue to keep it transparent. And we're coming out to present to you and your neighbors in advance, to give you the opportunity to provide feedback directly to us here at Public Works. Next slide, please. So, continuing the outreach here, our main objective throughout the outreach process is to conduct equitable outreach and engage that prioritizes our disadvantaged communities and communities most affected by these rate increases. To accomplish these goals, we're doing a few things. So we're working with our community based organizations, those are our CBOs for short, to enhance outreach strategies and co create materials. We're also developing digital media that includes our infographic videos and a targeted social media campaign, as well as educational equity based Prop 218 outreach. That includes our Prop 218 notices, which you've all received. We worked really hard to make sure that they were both informative and easy on the eyes as well. We take pride in design here too at Public Works. But we also working on open houses. We've had a few that are been scheduled and a few that are coming up, as well as community meetings and virtual bilingual webinars. We want to make sure we have individuals that English isn't necessarily their first language. We want to make sure that they're included and have the opportunity to hear the same presentation that you all are hearing today and provide similar feedback that you all have the opportunity to as well. Next slide, please. So I mentioned before, outreach events. So this is just a quick graphic that showcases a few of the outreach events we have in our CSMD service area. So these events are an excellent opportunity for our constituents to engage with us here, our Public Works team, to ask any questions, provide any feedback, learn how these changes or these rate increases, this proposed rate increase will affect you. So the goal here is to best accommodate our residents' busy schedules. So you'll notice that some of these start times are earlier, like the Altadena webinar that is occurring on the 6th. That's 10 a.m. on a Friday. Others of them, for the most part, are 6 p.m. So we know we have a lot of hardworking individuals here at LA County. So we want to make sure that there's an opportunity for those individuals to attend an open house after work. You also notice that there are open house events in every district, as well as webinars for anyone to attend. So just like I showed the graphic a few slides back, where we have our facilities that are kind of dispersed sporadically throughout the county, we want to make sure we similarly give people that live in whether it's North County, the South. Here in Alhambra or any other city, an opportunity to find a webinar or an open house that's closest and most convenient to them. Um, Please take note of any of these dates here. If any of them works for you, please stop by. I love the webinars, but I much rather enjoy to see you all in person to ask questions as well. Next slide, please, which is my least favorite slide because now we have to say goodbye. But this is our contact slide. So pretty much there's an opportunity here for you to ask any questions. Please call us. I'm a big fan of phone calls. If you have any questions, concerns, if you have an email that you'd rather send and you're not a calling type of individual, you're more than welcome to send us an email. We have staff here. We'll do our best to get our answers back to you in a timely fashion, usually within one business day. In addition to attending the webinars, feel free to ask any question at any day about anything related to our CSMD rate increase or our sewer maintenance related services. Thank you all for your time and an opportunity to listen to me. If there's any questions, we're here to field any of them. Feel free to put them in the chat or in the Q&A box. We'll hang tight just in case. Thank you all.